What's standard? I don't ever tell people. Like, we just like put it in my basement and we record. I usually sit behind the camera so that it's almost like eye contact with me.
Yeah, in news photography, we always look at the person and not the camera. I'm Christie Dutton, and I'm a meteorologist at Wave 3 early in the morning for Wave 3 sunrise. Huge music fan.
What time do you have to get up to do that?
I get up at 2:30 in the morning.
So what time do you go to bed? 8 o'clock?
I try never to look at the clock when I go to bed, but I sleep in a couple different shifts. So I'll go to bed when I get home from work for a few hours in the afternoon, and then I'll get up and I'll do stuff, and then I'll go back to bed when the sun goes down and sleep for the second half, and then get up and go to work.
Wow. When does your body adjust to that, or is it always?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if your body would ever adjust to that, but I don't know. It works for me because I'm able to do all the cool stuff that happens around town still like that.
Cool. How long have you been at Wave 3?
I've been at Wave 3 for almost 4 years now. 4 years this summer. Before that, I was at a Fox station in Cincinnati, and before that, I was at the ABC station in Lexington. But Louisville is definitely my favorite place that I've worked.
Yeah. Because
there are just so many cool things that happen here. All the live music, it's a very musical town.
Yeah.
You know, from the free concerts here in the summer, right here at Cherokee Park, to Waterfront Wednesday, to Winter Wednesday, you know, even to Fort Castle.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not like an Applebee's town where everything's like a chain or a franchise. You get to experience unique things everywhere you go that are just for Louisville.
Yeah.
So I really like it.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, so how would you compare the scene, like the music scene here, to like a Cincinnati or Lexington? I mean, I know Lexington's is a lot smaller. But...
I don't know. I feel like people here are more into music than they were in Cincinnati. But Cincinnati has some really cool venues as well. The South Gate House and, you know, all the Newport on the River. But I feel like people here crave it more than they did there. I don't know if that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
But, you know, and Lexington's a smaller scene, but they still get some good acts coming through there too. But it just really seems to click a little bit more here in Louisville.
Well, what are some of your favorite local bands?
Oh my gosh, I have so many of them. I love Whiskey Bit Valley Boys, one of my favorites. I love bluegrass music. I like just about everything, from bluegrass music to the DJs, the OK DJs that play at Zanzibar. I love them too. I love the Pass as well. They're one of my favorites. And of course, Jesse Lewis.
Yeah.
There's this guy that a lot of people here in town are just love. I think he's from Colorado, Kyle James Hauser. That just and he plays here a lot, and just his lyrics are so mesmerizing. So I love it when I get an opportunity to go see him. And we get a lot of cool acts that come through town too. You know, like Van Devere from DC, they'll come into town. They're really good. And I don't know, just, and then of course the big acts that come to the Young Center. So yeah, I mean.
You go to a lot of those shows, the big shows that are Young Center.
I don't go to a lot of those unless my friends are going and convince me to go, which is what usually happens. But when I do go, I'm always so impressed with how they, the huge production they put on. I mean, those people know how to put on a good show.
Yeah.
You know, so of course they're good musicians, and then they have all this other stuff. It's all very mind-blowing. It can be a little overwhelming sometimes, but yeah.
So you don't go to Yum Center all that much. What venues do you like to frequent a lot?
I really like Uncle Slayton's because it's smaller, more intimate. They remodeled the inside, so it's one of those buildings you would pass by without even realizing what it was, but you go inside and it's a really cool, intimate venue, and it sounds good in there too. So you get to have kind of like this close experience with whoever's performing there. I just heard though that they're going to close down and maybe look for a different venue or something's going on there. So, but I really liked that space. Like it just had a really good vibe to it. I also like seeing bands or even DJs at Zanzibar. You know, just like hole in the wall places too. And Headliners, of course, is an awesome place if you're going to have a bigger crowd there, because you have the little upstairs balcony place where you can kind of get away and breathe for a minute, or you can just go down and get right into the thick of things. So I really like Headliners. Somewhere else in town is a good spot. I love outdoor concerts too. We only have Waterfront Wednesday right out there, like on the waterfront. That's just like a really cool thing that Louisville does. And, you know, even here for the 4th of July, they're going to have festivals out there on the waterfront too, and Forecastle out on the waterfront. So any sort of outdoor waterfront concert, I think, is like just a really cool Louisville opportunity to see music.
Are you going to Forecastle this year?
Well, yes, of course.
Who are you looking forward to seeing?
Well, there were two groups that have eluded me for years now, and both of them were on the Forecastle lineup, and I'm so excited. The first one is Matt and Kim, who I just saw a couple days ago at Bonnaroo, and I can't wait to see them again. And Shovels and Rope. And Shovels and Rope they're really getting a lot of popularity now. They just opened up for, I think it was Dawes, and they're kind of new folk, kind of bluegrassy, but I know all their songs. I can sing every lyric of all their songs. And they actually were playing in Lexington at a little podunk bar, and I can't remember the name of it. I may have never even heard of it before, but it was on a weeknight, and it was too late, so I couldn't do it, and I haven't been able to catch them since. So I'm so excited that they're coming to Forecastle, like the two groups that I wanted to see. You know, and then of course all the Headliners, Black Keys, and all that is going to be incredible.
Cool. Yeah. And something I'd always kind of, moving away from the music thing, like the local celebrity, I've always been kind of fascinated. Like, what is that experience like? I mean, because I was looking, like I Googled, before I came over here, I Googled you, and I mean, of course there was your stuff on Wave 3, and then there was like, something, I was like, news women wearing boots, like a blog?
No,
I don't know.
I've not seen that.
I mean, I don't know if you Google, you probably don't Google yourself, but it was like pictures of, I mean, it wasn't anything, you know, inappropriate, but it was just like a fan site of newscasters all over the country that wear boots, and there was like all these pictures of you.
There was me?
Yeah, it was like, because it was like a fourth result when I Googled you. It was like the fourth result. And I was like, I've never heard of this.
Oh my gosh, I have never heard of that either.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I need to check on some things like that. Yeah, no, I usually hear from other people. Like my friends told me about this website called Topics.
Yeah, that was another one I saw.
Yeah, that has some strange stuff on there too. Yeah. I don't know. I guess I ignore it for the most part, or I don't find out about it. I'm pretty busy doing other things, so I don't get too caught up in it. But I don't know. Some things like that are kind of funny though. Yeah. So I might actually check it out.
I mean, do people just like stop like on the street, like? Because it almost seems like, you know, when you go into on their TV and in their living rooms every day, they almost would feel like they know you. When people like walk up and, oh my gosh, hey, you know, I see you on TV all the time.
Sometimes, but it really doesn't happen a lot.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people in the younger generation don't watch as much TV news. So a lot of times when I'll go to the concerts and where there's a lot of youngsters or hipsters or whatever, like it's you know, it's never come up really, but sometimes on the streets some people will stop and say hey, and I'm just grateful that somebody's watching, because that's how I have a job. So so you know, I'm glad they're there, and you know, I like to talk to people and meet new people and everything. So I always have in the back of my mind, I think, oh no, what if I say something, and then they're disappointed, and then they're gonna tell their friends, oh, I talked to that one girl from the news, and she said something really dumb or something like that. But other than that, I don't know, it's kind of a cool feeling when I get to talk to people.
Yeah. And do you work with a lot? I know that it seems like a lot of the sort of news media people in Louisville work with a lot of local charities and stuff. Are there some that you work with that are real close to your heart?
I'm big in the Kentucky Humane Society. We have the Texas and Tales coming up, and we did the wagon trail. It was like a month ago, I guess. So we have a couple cool events there. I'm a huge animal lover, so I'm a little bit drawn to a lot of the animal charities like that, and we would do our TV segments with the Adopt a Pet, Adopt a Pet segments. So we work with them a lot and try to get them some good publicity, and of course with their neuter-a-thons and everything, which is huge. So Special Olympics, I do a lot with Special Olympics too. And with Special Olympics, it's such a cool, and I know one of the guys that does some of their marketing, they have such a cool creative group that they do these amazing things to like raise money and raise awareness about it. Like they asked me to rappel down the Ramada skyrise in downtown Louisville for Special Olympics. I'm like, that's really cool. Like, who thought of that? Like, that's going to get you a lot of good publicity. Of course, they have the polar bear plunge every year, in the middle of the winter, when a lot of people don't even want to get in the Ohio River.
Have you done that before?
I jumped when I've emceed the polar bear plunge for them in Lexington and Cincinnati, and I've done it here in Louisville. And the first year that I did it in Lexington, I jumped into the water, and they had like a pool there. Yeah. And it was so cold that year, they had to break the ice off the top of it. It kept freezing. And so I jumped into the water that year, and I was sick for a week later. And they put you in these tents with heaters, and like it felt so good. But I laid some of my clothes on the heaters, and then they, like some like athletic pants, and they melted. So then I didn't have any clothes to put on after I jumped into this freezing cold water. So after then, I told them that I would MC it. You know, I'll do whatever they want, but I'm not jumping in anymore. I've already.
That's understandable.
Yeah. So those are two of my top favorites.
Cool.
Yeah. And then of course, people ask me to do this, that, or the other.